Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're diving into something today that I think a lot of people find pretty tough to wrap their heads around. Building a saving habit and, really getting those personal finances in check. It can feel like a mountain to climb, especially if it's not something you've been focused on before.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's easy to feel lost, like you're drowning in all the financial stuff out there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We're zeroing in on how to build that saving mindset, especially for folks who maybe haven't been saving much or maybe don't have a ton of financial knowledge, to begin with.
Right, that makes sense.
So we're taking a look at it from all angles, different ways you can handle your money, understanding those pesky habits that get in the way, and figuring out why planning is so important. We want to give you the tools you can actually use, the stuff that makes a real difference, and show you how even small changes, if you keep at them, can really pay off big time down the road. No more confusion, just clear, helpful advice.
I like it. Sounds good.
All right, so let's jump right in. So when we talk about saving, what does that actually mean, and why should it matter to you?
Well, saving is more than just like squirreling away a few bucks here and there whenever you remember. It's about actively taking control of your financial future.
So it's a deliberate thing, not just what's left over.
Exactly. It's a choice you make to set aside a portion of what you earn for things that matter to you, like building a safety net for those unexpected things that always seem to pop up, or saving for something special you really want, or just planning for your security down the line, thinking long term.
Right, so it's about more than just not spending, it's about choosing to save.
Exactly. And doing that gives you power. It's like having a shield against those curveballs life throws. Imagine losing your job out of the blue, or getting hit with a medical bill you weren't expecting, or having to fix something in your house. Without savings, those things can really throw you off balance, even put you in debt.
No kidding. Yeah. It can be a real domino effect. Something happens, you don't have the cash, then you're waiting for those credit cards, and suddenly you're dealing with interest payments on top of everything else. It's like a trap.
Exactly. And that's where saving comes in, to break that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. When you've got that cushion, that safety net, you don't have to constantly stress about making it to the next payday. It's like this huge weight lifted off your shoulders, and you just feel more in control.
That makes sense. It's about having that breathing room.
Yeah, totally. And beyond that, saving also sets you up for the future.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Totally. Saving is the foundation for investing. Once you've got some savings built up, you can start putting that money to work, let it grow over time. That's how you reach those bigger goals, like retiring comfortably or even, achieving financial independence. The bottom line is, saving puts you in the driver's seat. You're in charge of your journey instead of just reacting to whatever life throws at you.
That's a great way to put it. So where do you even begin? What are some of the basic strategies people can start using right away?
There are a bunch of different approaches, but one of the easiest and most popular ones is the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay, break that down for us. What's that all about?
It's a simple way to divide up your income after taxes. About 50% goes to your needs, the essentials, rent or mortgage payments, groceries, getting to work, bills, that kind of stuff. Then about 30% can go towards your wants, things you enjoy but don't strictly need, travel, entertainment, eating out, non-essential shopping, stuff like that.
Makes sense so far?
And then the last 20%, that's what you aim to set aside for savings and investments. This is where you build that emergency fund, contribute to your retirement, and work towards those big long-term financial goals.
Got it. So that 20% is the real game changer, right? That's where the saving habit really takes root.
You got it. It's the portion that's actively building a better financial future for you. Now, if you're just starting out or things are a bit tight right now, saving a full 20% might feel overwhelming. That's totally understandable. The most important thing is to start building that habit of saving, to get the ball rolling.
Right, starting is key.
So even if 20% feels like a stretch right now, starting with 10% is a huge step in the right direction. And as you get more comfortable, you can always bump that percentage up, find ways to free up some more cash.
So start small, build the habit. I like it. What else is there? What other strategies can people use?
Another important step is plugging those financial leaks. Those small, sneaky expenses that can drain your account without you even realizing it.
Oh, I know those all too well. Like that daily coffee habit or those subscriptions you sign up for and then completely forget about.
Exactly. Those unused subscriptions are a classic example. Streaming services, gym memberships you never use, software you don't need anymore. Even those daily coffees, they seem small, but those can add up to hundreds of dollars over a year.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly those little things can add up.
And even things like only paying the minimum on your credit card, letting that interest pile up, that's a major financial leak. The key is to be mindful, really pay attention to where your money is going, look at your bank statements, your credit card bills, be honest with yourself about where your money is actually being spent, and then try to find at least two non-essential expenses you can cut out completely, or at least reduce. You'll be amazed at how much those small savings can add up over time.
It's like finding hidden money. I love it. Okay, so we've talked about the 50-30-20 rule and plugging those financial leaks. What else is important?
Here's something that might seem a bit out there, but it can be really powerful. Understanding that a lot of expenses are negotiable and being proactive about finding ways to save money through negotiation.
Negotiation.
Yeah.
That might sound intimidating to some folks.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. Think about something like appealing your property taxes. A lot of people just pay whatever they're told, but they don't realize they might have good reasons to appeal that assessment.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of times you can do the whole thing online. If you can show that the assessed value of your property is too high, you can potentially save a lot of money on your annual property taxes. We're talking hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars.
Wow, that's a huge potential saving.
And if you're not comfortable doing it yourself, there are companies that specialize in helping people appeal their property taxes. They usually only get paid if they save you money, so it's relatively low risk with a potentially big reward.
That's really interesting. So it's about taking that initiative, challenging those big recurring expenses.
Absolutely. And that brings us to optimizing other recurring expenses like insurance. We often set things up and then forget about them, but it's so important to review them regularly, like your car insurance, home insurance, renter's insurance, those kinds of things. Rates change all the time, and sadly, loyalty doesn't always pay off in the insurance world.
It's true.
So it's a good idea to shop around, get quotes from a bunch of different insurance companies. Some experts even recommend getting at least 10 quotes just to make sure you're getting the best deal.
10. That sounds like a lot of work. But I guess it could be worth it if it saves you money.
It definitely can. And don't forget about potential discounts through memberships. Some insurance companies offer discounts if you're a member of AAA, Costco, AARP, stuff like that. If you're already a member, great. If not, it might be worth looking into.
Good point.
Also, if you're driving less these days, make sure you update your annual mileage with your car insurance. That can sometimes lower your premiums.
I never thought of that.
And don't forget about your utilities. Simple things like turning off lights, using energy-efficient appliances, being mindful of your water usage. Those can make a real difference in your monthly bills. It's also a good idea to see if there are cheaper options for your internet and phone plans. The market is always changing. You might find a better deal out there. And sometimes even just calling your current providers and asking for a discount can work wonders. You never know.
That's a great reminder. It's like, don't just accept your bills as they are. Actively look for ways to bring those costs down.
That's the spirit. Okay, so now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the mental side of saving. How to change your mindset and your daily habits to make saving easier. One powerful principle is paying yourself first.
Yeah, I've heard that before. What does that actually look like in practice?
It's all about making saving a priority. Setting up automatic transfers so that as soon as your paycheck hits your account, a portion of it goes straight to savings. Think of it this way. People who struggle with money often spend first and then save whatever's left, if there's anything left. But people who are good at building wealth, they flip that script. They save first and then spend what's left. Make saving the first bill you pay each month.
I like that. It's like flipping the script on how you normally think about it.
Exactly. And automation is key here. It takes the temptation out of the equation. You set it up once, and then you don't have to think about it. Even a small amount transferred consistently can make a huge difference over time. And this ties in perfectly with the ideas in Atomic Habits. You know that book?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. Small changes, big results, right?
Exactly. Just like with compound interest, small, consistent habits multiply over time when it comes to self-improvement, and that includes your finances. It's not about making some drastic change overnight. It's about those small daily actions that add up over time.
It's about those 1% improvements each day, like the book talks about.
That's the core idea. A small habit might not seem like much on any given day, but the combined effect over weeks, months, years, that's where the magic happens. And that's why it's so important to focus on building systems rather than just setting goals.
Systems over goals. What does that mean?
Think of it like this. A goal is the result you want. Like, I want to save $1,000 this year. But a system is the process, the habits you put in place to get there. Like, I'm going to automatically transfer $83.33 to my savings account every month. Your goals give you direction, but it's your systems that keep you moving forward. Even if you don't hit your goal perfectly, a good system means you're still making progress.
That's a really helpful distinction. It's about the journey, not just the destination. And Atomic Habits also gives some specific steps for building better habits, right?
Yes, it outlines these 4 laws of behavior change that you can apply to building a saving habit. The first law is to make it obvious. This is about making the cues for your saving habits clear and visible.
So make it easy to remember to save.
Exactly. You can use habit stacking, which basically means linking your new habit to an existing one. So for example, after you get paid, you transfer money to savings. You can also use visual reminders, like keeping your bank statement where you'll see it, to remind you to review your spending.
Okay, so make the trigger for saving clear and easy to spot. What's the second law?
The second law is to make it attractive. This is about making saving something you actually want to do, not something you dread. You can try temptation bundling, where you pair something you need to do with something you enjoy. For example, after you spend time budgeting, you reward yourself with an episode of your favorite show.
So make saving less of a chore.
Exactly. You can also try associating saving with something positive, like visualizing what you'll be able to do with your savings in the future, or connecting with people who have good financial habits. That can make saving feel more appealing.
Surround yourself with good influences.
Exactly. And then the third law is make it easy. This is about reducing any barriers to saving. Automatic transfers are a great example of this. You can also start with a super simple budget. There's even a 2-minute rule, which basically says, make the first step of a new habit so easy that it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Like just opening your budgeting app for 2 minutes each day. The idea is to lower the barrier to entry as much as possible.
Remove the friction. Makes sense. And the final law.
The fourth law is to make it satisfying. This is about rewarding yourself for good behavior. You can track your progress visually, watching your savings grow, or using a habit tracker. And you can celebrate those small milestones, give yourself little rewards that don't derail your progress,
Make it feel good to save.
Exactly. Now, another budgeting approach that can help you get a clear picture of where your money's going is zero-based budgeting.
Okay, what's that?
The basic idea is that every dollar you earn has a job. You assign every dollar to a specific category, whether it's for saving, spending, or paying off debt. So by the end of your budgeting, all your income minus all your planned expenses should equal 0. This makes you think really carefully about where your money's going and make sure that every dollar has a purpose.
That sounds like it could be really helpful. So we've talked about strategies, mindset shifts, but what role does planning for the future and just having a basic understanding of finances play in all of this?
Planning for the future is absolutely crucial for building long-term wealth. Research shows that even just doing a little bit of financial planning can lead to significantly more wealth compared to doing no planning at all.
Really? Just a little bit of planning makes that much difference?
Yeah, studies have shown that people who engage in financial planning tend to accumulate considerably more wealth over time compared to those who don't. It seems that just the act of thinking about your financial future and making some basic plans can have a real impact on your saving and wealth-building habits.
That's encouraging. So it's not about having this perfect plan, just about starting to think about it.
Exactly. And financial literacy, understanding the basics of how money works, is also super important. Studies have shown that people with lower financial literacy tend to save less for retirement and are less likely to invest in assets that have the potential for higher returns over the long term.
That makes sense. If you don't understand the basics, it's harder to make informed choices.
Right. If you don't get how things like compound interest work, you might not fully grasp the benefits of saving and investing early, and you might make less informed decisions about debt and borrowing.
So it's all connected.
Right.
Understanding money helps you make smarter decisions about it.
Exactly. It's also interesting to note that people with lower financial literacy tend to rely more on advice from family and friends for their financial decisions, while those who are more financially savvy are more likely to consult more formal sources like financial advisors, books, reputable websites.
So it's about getting your information from reliable sources, not just relying on word of mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are also some really cool strategies out there that use behavioral economics to encourage saving, like automatically enrolling people in retirement savings plans and gradually increasing their contributions over time without requiring them to make a decision each time.
So make it automatic, make it the default.
That's the idea. These
Yeah,
strategies remove some of the decision fatigue and help people save more without having to constantly think about it.
love it. Okay, so for someone listening who feels like they're at square one, what are some quick wins, some actionable first steps they can take today?
The most important thing is to start small. You don't have to do everything at once. Pick one area of saving to focus on. This week, maybe you review your car insurance and get a couple of other quotes. Or maybe you identify one of those financial leaks, like a subscription you're not using, and cancel it.
Keep it simple, one step at a time.
Exactly. You can also start with one small saving habit using the Atomic Habits framework. Set up a small automatic transfer to your savings account each payday, or spend 2 minutes a day tracking your spending. Just get the ball rolling. Every dollar you save is a dollar working towards your financial freedom.
That's a great way to think about it. It's not about depriving yourself, it's about building a better future.
Exactly.
So, to wrap things up, what's the key message you want listeners to take away from our deep dive today?
I want them to know that building a saving habit is absolutely within their reach, regardless of their past experiences or financial knowledge. It's about understanding the basic concepts, putting those practical strategies into action, like the 50-30-20 rule, maybe trying zero-based budgeting, and most importantly, developing those small, consistent saving habits using principles like the 4 laws of behavior change.
And we're trying to give them a clear roadmap, a place to start without feeling overwhelmed, right?
Exactly. We wanted to equip them with actionable insights they can start using today, knowing that even small steps can lead to big changes in the long run.
Here's a final thought for you to ponder. Imagine improving your saving habits by just 1% each day. Think about how those small improvements would compound over the next year. What's one tiny step you can take today to start building that saving mindset? We encourage you to dig deeper into these ideas and see what resonates with you. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.
See you then.